I don't think there's much that hasn't been said about the... It would be hard not to over-introduce Bette Davis. They've talked about her beauty and her wit and her charm and her intelligence and her talent, and she's also warm and kind and undeniably sexy, I feel, and mysterious, and there are stars and superstars and actors in the movies, and I never figured out exactly what that means. I guess an actor is somebody who's very good but doesn't have the giant personality that makes a star, and a star is often a person with a giant personality but not necessarily a good actor. So that is, I suppose if they needed another word, it would be superstar, and undeniably you can't get any more so than my guest tonight. Will you welcome, please, Miss Bette Davis.
If you go into this business and expect gratitude or thanks, this is why we all have to get very tough about what we will and won't do. Because if we don't, they will just take advantage of you till it's unbelievable. There is no affection from there to here. But there were, for many actors, great gratitude from here to there.
That's interesting.
And you know, 4 compliments a year, we never would have asked for so much money. Truthfully.
That's the one thing they didn't realize.
They never knew it. Actors are complete suckers for good parts, you know, and just saying, you did a good job, Betty. Never, never, never.
But if they'd known, it would have saved money.
I think it would have made a whole different salary scale in California. Yes, I do. They only respected you by how much money you made. You could be the same actress at $650 a week or $30,000 a week. And you're a much better actress at $30,000 a week. When I made Jezebel, I was only making $650 a week, which was a phenomenally small salary. I'd been there quite a while. Faye Bainter was making twice my salary.
Yeah.
But I never fought for money, you see, until many, many years later. I fought for parts, and that automatically makes it work. Then there comes a time they cannot help but change your contract. People, for instance, way off in Scotland, the way people took care of me, you know, cared about me. When we arrived in Glasgow, of course you knew when my career started by the fans that were there. There wasn't anything but a white hair in the bunch. But these beautiful Scotch women who were really crying, they never thought in their lives, and they'd known me 40 years, they really felt they knew me, thought in their lives to see me. You know, they all brought the little bunches of heather. It was really, this is part of the reward. But boy, you don't get that for a long, long time. And that must never be your motive. Mm-hmm. See, that can't be the motive. Because that isn't what you want the most. You want to get on that stage and work.
Very well said. Local stations have a message. What about public insults? Did you ever suffer at the hands of the old Crocs, Lolly, and Hedda, and the old gossip columnists?
Yes, but I'll tell you, I had a procedure about all that kind of thing. It was purely business. Never social. Never came to my home. Any Hollywood columnist. Mm-hmm. And I had some very rough times. Yes, I had some very rough times, particularly with Luella.
Yeah.
Very rough. But she was probably one of the greatest newspaper women that will ever be. Let's hand it to her. She was a pro newspaper woman. Nothing would stop her from getting a story if she possibly could. Well, that was her business, wasn't it? And
the results were a little sad in some cases to the victims.
Yes, but people obviously answered her.
Yeah, they didn't have to tell, did they?
They didn't have to tell. You see, this is really why sometimes you should not blame. Rex Reed has been criticized. You shouldn't blame Rex Reed. He tells you quite honestly when he comes, in my case he came to my house, he said, whatever you do in this house today, I as a reporter feel privileged to write about.
Yeah.
You know, and he's absolutely right. It's a business, isn't it? He's in business and I'm in business, right? I don't think as a group, actors are what I'd call happy people. I think we're very moody people. I think we have, great ups and great downs. And if something goes well or if something turns out badly, you're depressed for days. And I think we're terribly peculiar that way and rather lonely people, actually. So Claude, I could not say was a happy person. He was witty, amusing, and beautiful. Really beautiful.
That thing has to do with what you're talking about there are people, you say, of your era, or some phrase you used like that. You could see them in movie after movie that wasn't particularly great, but you thought, gee, I'd like to know that person, or they're really a dynamite personality, or they're really something. Now, if you see a bad movie, the actors are on the same level as the movie. They don't seem to stand out in it. You don't seem to say... I hate to generalize like this, but it seems like there were more cases
but
of that.
There's much less sort of effort put into it. I think acting should look as if we were working a little. You
get a little credit for your craft.
Yes, it's like the juggler who loses twice and then he gets it, finally.
Yeah.
Which is a very old-fashioned theory today. You see, we mustn't have any idea that anybody knows the camera's on them at all. You see, it's just life. Well, we all have life, 12 hours a day, and sometimes we want to forget life. And I think it should be a little larger than life. A little bit theatrical. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
The title of that song, You're Either Too Young or Too Old.
Yes, that's
which
right.
was, you were saying during the break also. May I get that for you, or does that offend you?
Oh, no, I'm not woman's lib.
Yeah, the
other... I could never be second best. If I had to be second best in a business, I would go into another business. And I just was determined to at least finally learn my trade. And you can only learn your trade by doing good things, not just...
I watched the Oscars, and I don't know what all the fuss was because you had manners. You did something which was absolutely right. You explained who the gentleman was that came to accept the speech, and you gave his credits. And I said, that is wonderful. What is all this brouhaha about?
I really hoped you'd bring up this subject tonight. So I prepared my answer. And also, I am quoting from the interview that was given about my appearance on the Oscars, and I wanted to say it really exactly as they said it. So, all right. An interview was given by an Academy member to the Associated Press, which is published the world over. The Academy member explains Davis's awkward presentation of the Best Actor award to Newman. Davis was speaking too slowly. I've spent my life to learn to speak slowly.
Fox wishes you would teach me to speak slowly.
Oscar, show director Marty Passetta, shut off her microphone. And they did. The interview said Passetta was faced with a time problem. Also said, I got off the track a bit. And off the track a bit as Betty does from time to time. It seems that Mr. Passetta feels I never recovered from my stroke. The interview also said I was a wonderful lady, but that I rambled on and got off cue. These are all quotes in an interview. It further said it's a live show and there are no retakes. Yes, indeed, it said that. Yeah. Passetta later on in the show cut off my mic again. Entertainment Tonight said that I was so angry I would never do another Oscar show. That is not true. But I didn't want to change the director. No, sir. There it all is in the Hollywood Reporter.
But you know,
I have to finish by saying it was a lovely evening.
we'll be back with more of this Bette Davis fabulous Benjamin, so don't go anywhere.
Why don't we all go and have some candy and sodas and ice cream?